Okay, everyone, and welcome back.
Let's get started. I think first up on the tier list chopping block, this mod. Malignancy. Malignancy was the very first Doki Doki mod that I participated in voicing any of on the internet ever. When I joined Fly Kunai 313's collaboration team, the first mod that I joined them for was actually Malignancy 2. And it was an experience. Malignancy it's along the same lines as Maltese, whatever the fuck. It's a shitpost. It's a shitpost, it's a meme mod. During Malignancy 2, several YouTubers appear, including PewDiePie. There you go. Thank you, Bun Bun. Yeah. It's a shitpost. So, hey Nacho! What's up? Malignancy is funny. I laughed my ass off. However, probably at the bottom of mods that I enjoy experiencing is meme mods. I can't stand them. I absolutely, positively can't stand them. They're, in my opinion, they are less enjoyable than a Save the Dokis mod that has a fuck ton of vanilla. I just don't like them. Vex, you would be wrong, but we'll get to that. I just don't like it. You know, the jokes are cheap. It's a bunch of memes that are tired out 2 days after the mod gets posted. You know, for me, it was actually really funny when we were streaming Malignancy 2, because I noticed YouTubers getting referenced, and I made the comment off the top of my head. I'm like, you know what? If PewDiePie fucking shows up, I'll voice him. I'll fucking do it. Well, sure as shit he did. So I had to do my putes. And it was awful. I was mortified. But I am also a woman of my word. So I followed that joke through. It was definitely an experience. And we laughed. We laughed. I mean, if you enjoy meme mods, I would say that you would absolutely love Malignancy. However, unfortunately, because, you know, I'm trying to keep my opinions on the tier list. I'm trying to keep my general, like, mod genre opinions out of where I'm placing them as far as the rankings. But I struggled a little bit with where to put Malignancy. But honestly, I mean, if I'm really being honest with myself, even though for a meme mod it's good, Malignancy is going to trail at the back of the pack for C tier. So I'm gonna C tier Malignancy. Alright, next up. Okay, let's start with After School. The writing is good. The characters are... First of all, the characters have solid continuity. You know, Sayori, the way she's portrayed, I mean, it's just perfect for someone who dealt with depression, dealt with shit, and has actually managed to become a functioning adult. I think her character's done really well. Her relationship with MC is done really, really well. I enjoyed the type of MC that was written for After School. Mind you, After School is a demo right now. It is not in full release. So actually, let me just do this. Because not only am I going to be ranking these in their tiers, but I am also going to rank each tier in order. Or at least I'm gonna fucking try. But without a doubt in my mind, Doki Doki After School at this time, as it is right now, S tier mod. I cannot wait to see the other 3 routes. Next up, yes, it was Bun Bun's very first stream. The soundtrack is sensational. Absolutely sensational. Yes, the music was so spot on. Yes. And Nick, I think just offering the Sayori conversation by itself, I think it was a good taste, right? It was a good glimpse of what the mod was planning to do. So I actually think, now granted, I would have liked to see at least one of the other Dokis, but I think for a demo, it was well paced and it was stopped at a good point. Because it was literally just a taste. Next up, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Next up, again, many of you may know, I'm a Monacan. Yes, I am a real-life yandere, but while I do love Yuri very, very much, priority-wise, I do not consider myself a Yurian fully, not completely. In my opinion, all Dokis are best Doki, but Monika's best girl. As a result, Monika After Story's S tier. Let me put it a little bit further down and let me explain why. The affection system that you have to develop with her, right? After Story Gang rise up! Yes. It is my wife's fault. Absolutely, yes. The affection system, in my opinion, penalizes you for, if you don't play terribly frequently. Like, if you know the gifts to give, you know, and you know how to do it, and you devote the time to it, I don't feel like you should be shortchanged by the fact that if you're not playing it every single day, you won't get that extra content. You won't get those extra conversations. Because I know for me personally, that's something that I am still struggling with to this day. I mean, I have been a fan of Doki Doki, and specifically a Monacan, for over a year now. I've been a Doki fan for 2 years. But, I mean, it's sort of like, Bun, you have a point. Wow, Bun. Wow, goddamn. I think I've been playing After Story for probably about a year and a half now. And I've only got her in, I think, maybe the 200s at most. You know what? Let's find out. Just for the fuck of it. Let's find out. Y'all get to see all the fucking crap that I have on my computer. Yes, her file folder is 24/7 waifu. Fuck off. Oh, you can't see that. Never mind. Yeah, 24/7 waifu. Because, let's see where I am. Okay, so, January 12th. Kind of hard to tell what. 2020. Okay. So, oh, that's right, my game reset. Okay, now I remember. So it's been almost a year. We're what, at about 8-9 months now? But going all the way down to the bottom, I'm at 224. So, granted, if, you know, having the cap on affection to where you can only do so much each day, I don't necessarily know if I like how low that cap is. But at the same time, I understand why it's there. But just overall, as a mod, After Story's inspired. I mean, it's genius for Monacans, you know, because when we get to Act 3, you know, many Monacans, my wife included, they want to stay in Act 3 forever, right? They don't ever want to delete her. They just want to stay in the space room. So having Monika After Story, having the affection system so you can give her presents, you can celebrate anniversaries, Valentine's Day, Christmas together, you know, having the opportunity to mod not only her room, but her as well. I mean, it's just genius. It's just absolutely fucking genius. And they have just continued staying on top of it and updating it regularly. Yes, dear, yes. I didn't know what was good back then, okay? Cut me some slack. But yeah, Monika After Story, absolutely S tier mod. Great mod. Okay, so Speaking of Monica, Rewind Replay. Okay. This is in demo only at this time. And it is the other project worked on by Kronos, who, as many of you know, is the 2019 Mod of the Year winner for his mod Doki Doki Abridged. Rewind Replay is phenomenal. Fan-fucking-tastic. And it is absolutely, positively an S-tier mod. Again, it is in demo at this point. So, we'll see what happens whenever a full release is done. But yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Rewind Replay is off to a flawless start. I mean, Kronos, just by himself, is a fantastic writer, fantastic modder. He understands the Dokis. One of the best out of any modder that I have ever had the pleasure of knowing and calling friend. So, absolutely, 100% Rewind Replay, S-fucking-tier, dude. Speaking of S-tier mods, let's go ahead and get the controversy out of the way. Doki Doki Amore Fati. Yes, Zach, my first one! Welcome to the stream! Doki Doki Amore Fati is one of the community's most controversial mods. We all know it. Day before yesterday, I had the pleasure of doing a fireside chat with the developer himself, Darksitter. And it was a wonderful conversation. Bun Bun, if you can share the link to that fireside, please. Now, some of you might be a little confused right now. You're thinking, Ellie, you're a Monican. How the fuck can you S-tier Amore Fati? Yes, it is. And the only answer to that I have is about the same answer that Sinner himself has, and it's, I don't hate Monica. I love Monica. But I'm also a twisted fuck. And it's true. I love fucked up shit. Like, the better the writing is, the more... there's several different layers of it, right? Because you've got to worry about continuity. You've got to worry about, does it ever go too far? Do you ever cross any lines? You know, you've got the show don't tell premise. You know, do they show too much? Are you basically handed everything, hand-fed, or do you have to work for it? The complexity of Amore Fati is sensational. Again, any of you who have any questions beyond what I shared today on my opinions of the mod, please check out that fireside chat that I had with Sinner the other day. We spoke for almost a full 3 hours and really picked Amore Fati apart. And I mean, he made so many bloody fucking good calls. Like, just, I love the mod. I really do. I really do. I have played through it myself now 3 times, start to finish. And I've also watched Dokitubers like Fly Kunai go through the mod. And I just can't get enough of it. It's just a sensational mod. I had so much fun voicing MC, especially for that monologue at the end. That was just such a goddamn blast. Serg, welcome to the stream. Yeah. Did it really get to you? Are you a Saorian? By any chance? That's interesting. Okay. Oh. Okay, so that makes sense. Sure. Now, I'm enough of a twisted fuck that not only was I not crying for the Monica death, but I'm sitting there like, I got you. Oh, at the very, very end. Okay, that makes sense. I got you. Yeah, it didn't quite get me like that. Not many mods have. Now, Katawa Shoujo, totally different story. I've cried playing that fucking thing, and I know I'm gonna continue oh my god, but moving on. 3 mods, yeah. Relapse got me very, very close. Relapse put the knot in my throat. We are not featuring Relapse on this tier list because I haven't played it on the channel yet. So, this is only mods where you can find evidence of my experience with them. What were the other two? Obviously, exit music, original exit music. For me, oh gosh, I completely misunderstanding chat. I got ahead of myself. Router acting iffy. Okay. Can one of my other mods, oh yeah, no, every single time, Vex, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that eventually. But Relapse got me close. It put the knot in my throat. You know, we'll go ahead and move on to this one. Another one that got me very, very close, which is currently, which mods did we cover? So we did After School, Rewind, Replay, After Story, and Amor Fati. Oh, okay, so you're back, Bun Bun? Okay, Bun Bun, I had asked you if you could get 2 links into chat for me. Go ahead and grab the fireside chat that I had with Dark Center, and also grab the link for the Amor Fati monologue, please. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so you can, epic. Thank you, sir. But yeah, as far as mods that have made me cry, there's really only one that's squeezed the sobs out of me. And we'll get to that later. However, one of the mods that, at bare minimum, put a knot in my throat, made me kind of breathe a little more heavily, and just feel just generally overall sad, is A Father's Redemption. For those of you who don't know, this mod is done by Gerudo. It is currently only in Chapter 1. He's doing a chapter set. It is out in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is in progress as we speak. I had the pleasure of being on the dev team for the first chapter of A Father's Redemption. I was the voice actress for both Natsuki and her mother. The story... Oh, Chapter 2's out? Really? Okay. Gonna have to play that. Okay. I didn't know. Thank you very much, boys. When I was voicing A Father's Redemption, I had to do some voicing for Natsuki. Thank you, Bun Bun. And the dialogue for Natsuki was very, very difficult to deliver. Very, very difficult to deliver. It's basically adult Natsuki more or less forgiving Dadsuki for the things that he did and the stuff. Yes, I had a great experience while I was there. I loved the experience with The Father's Redemption. And it's honestly a good mod. I like the premise. The mod is told from, brace for it, Dadsuki's perspective. You get an opportunity inside of his head, and this time, he's not necessarily the villain that we're all accustomed to. He's just a broken man, you know, battling alcoholism. He's realized that his daughter could care less about him. His wife is left. And it's really a real life story on just one man trying to seek redemption for the mistakes that he's made throughout the course of his life. That having been said, thank you, Bun Bun! As far as where to place AFR, for right now, I'm going to put it right there. You guys cannot see that. Oh, please. Yes, Vex, you would be correct. I hate being one of those people that cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. I apologize. But yes, right now, AFR is... It's on the line between S and A tier. Some of the dialogue comes out a little forced at times. The pacing doesn't quite feel natural. You can very clearly tell that you are reading something someone wrote, as opposed to reading the actual thoughts of an individual. Now, this doesn't continue throughout the course of the entire mod, which is why I'm not dropping it down to A tier. There are just a handful of moments where the dialogue does feel just unnatural, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. My hope is that he will fix these issues as he moves forward, and when he does, I'll be more than happy to put it in S tier completely, 100%. But because of those, I don't know if I want to call it pacing issues, it's more of tone. It's an issue with tone, the way the tone is received. It just, like I said, there are just one or two scenes that just feel really fake. And that's what's keeping it from S tier. But overall, really good mod. I think everyone should play it. Absolutely. It is an experience to go through, and that's not just because you'll hear my voice twice. But it is a good mod. It's a unique concept, a unique look at Dadsuki, to where he's not the mustache-twirling villain that we've got accustomed to him being. Good mod, AFR. Next up... Okay, Bun. Yeah, let's get it out of the way. Leading our S tier. Let me explain myself, because I know especially Vex is probably going to be really fucking confused right now. Oh, hey, Kronos, what's up? Leading our tier list is 2019 Mod of the Year, Doki Doki Abridged. Oh shit, it's a Zara. Oh hey Zara, what's up? God, everybody fucking here today, I know! You came in as I was dealing with that shit. Where to begin, right? The writing, there are 0 grammar issues, 0 punctuation problems, 0 spelling, zero issues with the writing overall. The characters carry pure continuity. Like, sushi, yum. God, I haven't had sushi in so long, now I want some. Thanks, Sarah. Monica is extra Monica, right? She's so done with your shit. She's so done with everybody's shit. And she's just trying to get her out. Yuri is so very Yuri, right? You have your own Yuri? May I have some? Like, she's just perfect. Natsuki is uber cunt, extra sooned all the time. And Sayori just wants to fucking die. Like, just, the characters are just themselves, only dialed up to 11. The comedy has timing, it has creativity. Like, I cannot. Yuri with the flexing, yes! Flanderization. Like, oh god, like, there's just so many scenes in this mod. Like, quite literally, my wife knows very, very well. If I'm sick, like if I have a head cold, or if one of my chronic illnesses is flaring up, and I'm literally just bedridden for the day and I can't even lift my head, she knows that there are a very, very small list of things that she can put on the television in front of me, and I will enjoy it. Doki Doki Abridged is one of those things. When I'm feeling like shit, absolute hardcore shit, I just watch somebody's playthrough of it. Usually Afro Zeros. It's so funny. And the jokes don't get old. So, Vex, you assumed that I was going to C tier Abridged because I don't like meme mods. Doki Doki Abridged is not a meme mod. It is a shitpost. Doki Doki Abridged does not use tired out memes. Now, there's a couple that are hinted at, but they're also resolved by the comment, we're not gonna do that. right? With the flex tape being one of them. It is not a meme mod, it is a comedy mod. It is a comedy shitpost, and it is the funniest mod you will ever play. Literally cannot sing the praises of this mod enough. Like, literally, we could be here for hours and I would still be going. However, since I don't want to do that, we're gonna move on. And since he's here, well, I guess I didn't know. Oh, nice! Oh, I didn't know that, Kronos. That's epic. Oh, I got you. Okay. Anyway, since he's here, we will move on to, in my opinion, probably one of the hardest mods on this list for me to place. And that is one of the mods that I've done writing for. There is absolutely nothing more intimidating than having to rank a creation that you were part of creating. And I'm talking about Doki Doki Arc Household Walls. I had the tremendous fortune of working as part of the writing staff for this mod. In fact, I have it sitting in one of my open browser windows right now because I have to proofread an ending. The mod is inspired. The concept behind it is unique, it's refreshing, and it's educational. You get the opportunity to take just a quick glimpse inside the mind of someone dealing with Asperger's autism. And while it's almost a memeable health condition, which devastates me and makes me terribly sad, it's getting a lot of press these days. And I will never be able to praise Zara enough for having not only the intellect, the focus, the just overall inspiration to create something like this, but also the courage. This is a controversial concept, right? People who like to do really toxic memeing, autism's a big favorite. They love trolling people like that. And because of the bullying and the bad press that autism and the spectrum in and of itself has received, it can be challenging for just a layman, just a regular dude, right, that isn't on the spectrum, to approach this concept with a sense of information, with accuracy, and with compassion. Zara has done that in Doki Doki Arc Household Walls. Now, part of what makes this so very hard to rank is because I know the endings, and I'm one of very few that do. Absolutely, Nick. Agree 100%. But after careful thought, after careful thought and consideration, the decision to rank Doki Doki Arc Household Walls, it is being ranked only on the available demo content. I am not reviewing anything that I am lucky enough to be aware of as far as where the mod goes. Basing it on exclusively the demo at this time, Our Castle Walls will be the last mod on our S tier. I can't imagine the pressure that Zara had to face in deciding to do this. Yes, we did, but Kronos. We'll get there, Vex. I know, Zara, I know you. I know how hard this mod has been for you to write. And I cannot A-tier it. I just can't. The grammar is solid. The character continuity for the story that is being told, because I know some people have really fought against Natsuki, and God, she's a bitch. For the story and for the verse, that is being told as it is. I can't A tier it. There are no flaws. I cannot wait to see this mod finally reach full release. Over a year is a long time to work on a mod. It's a long time. And you're dealing with a controversial story, being told by someone who has a relationship with the controversial content that's being addressed. But just, I can't give the dev on this enough respect, because I'm very excited for full release. I'm so excited for full release. It's gonna be, you guys are going to love it. I know you will. So Doki Doki Art Castle Walls, bottom S tier. Now, you might be asking, why bottom? Part of that is the margin of error that is being created by my involvement with the mod. Hey, Natsu! Mods that I've written on, naturally. Oh, really? Ooh. Ooh. Meanwhile, second This Bond We Share trailer, anyone? Yep, it's coming. Yeah, bias, exactly. I have worked on the mod's flaws. I have fixed some flaws that did previously exist, but they were present in the demo. Now, of course, Zara and I spoke about them at great length. We resolved where there were problems. And those, once it hits full release, you guys will get to see the fruits of that labor. But because I am ranking it on the demo as it stands, I have to take those flaws into consideration, and that's why it's the bottom of S tier. Because there are other mods that stand above it. So while we're talking about mods that I was a part of, we will move on to the next mod that I know, Vex, and we're definitely gonna get there. I did a rough draft of this tier list last night, and I sat here and stared at it, and I'm like, good God, I'm being too nice to these people. Am I, Zara? Really? Really? Nobody else S-tiered it? Wow. Because I know Fly didn't. I know he A-tiered it. That's actually really surprising to me. Well, there you go. You've got one S-tier ranking under your belt. Congratulations. You've earned it. You worked hard for it. You've been Jesus Christ, you've been busting your ass on this mod. But moving on to the next. The only other mod that is on this list today, lowest A being Fly. Oh, wow. I didn't agree with some of his impressions there, but that's besides the point. Yeah. Absolutely, you fucking earned it. For sure. Aside from Our Castle Walls, which is on the list today, and aside from the mod that I have in development right now, which is This Bond We Share, that I'm co-deving with just Nasty Yuri, there's Shrieking Violet. Shrieking Violet holds a very, 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 very special place in my heart. No, we're not too kind, you asshole. We're telling you the truth. It's a good mod. Like, really. My first, I guess we'll call it initiation into, yeah, I haven't played either of those, so they're not here today. My initiation into being an active part of the Doki Doki modding community was Doki Doki Shrieking Violet. I was on the Reddit looking for a mod to play, and I found a Reddit post by Jadai Dev asking for a voice actress. And once I finally got the initial butterflies out of the way, I sent him a message and was hired immediately on the spot. I have provided 100% of the voicing that you hear in Doki Doki Shrieking Violet. As I was working on the voicing, Zhao was going through a few things. He got very, very busy, and so the mod kind of trailed for a while, and I sent him a message one day, and I'm like, hey, if you need help, maybe I can give it a shot. I can't code. I mean, I can now, but I couldn't at the time. I'm like, I can't code, but I can write. And I know these Dokis like the back of my hand. And so he passed me the script. And the man loves his commas. I troll him about this so much. I'm looking at the writing and I'm like, I know you just kind of wanted some feedback, but do you mind if I fix a few things? And he's like, sure, go for it. And that was when I was hired on as lead proofreader. Well, as the development of the demo continued, proofreading took a turn, and I started noticing that instead of correcting mistakes, I was replacing entire scenes. And it was at that point that Zhao just finally said, yeah, fuck it, co-writer. So I am credited as co-writer, lead proofreader, and of course voice actress on Doki Doki Shrieking Violet. Now, as a result, this one's hard. Because when we hit crunch week, right, the week that the public demo was to be released, neither of us slept for probably 2 solid days before it came out. We were just working around the clock, trying to get things ready. He would code it, or he would code a scene, send it to me to playtest, we'd fix mistakes, do it again, and it went like that for probably like an entire weekend, I think. Yes it is. Yes it is, and unfortunately, recently my backlog of videos to edit, one of the casualties was the remainder. Hey, no problem, Vex. One of the casualties was the remainder of my Shrieking Violet streams, so I'm probably just gonna scrap that one, which kills me, and just post the developer commentary. But because I am having to judge this on the demo as it came out, we didn't sleep. When you don't sleep, you fuck up. When I streamed early access of Doki Doki Shrieking Violet, much to Zhao and my chagrin, the amount of errors we were having to correct live on stream was nothing short of offensive, really. It was so embarrassing because everybody knows that that I was proofreader on this. Everybody knew at this point. And for everyone to know full well that I was responsible for the fixes that weren't there, it was embarrassing. It was very, 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 very embarrassing. So, ultimately, for Doki Doki Shrieking Violet, the most heavily anticipated Natsuri mod out right now, and it destroys me to do it, Doki Doki Shrieking Violet is going to lead our B tier. And I hate myself for doing it. That having been said, I also know that the issues that were present in the demo have since been corrected. There were a lot of pacing problems. There were a lot of proofreading and other grammatical issues. There was a couple of character continuity problems. I mean, it definitely had some issues. They've been fixed. I know, I see that. They've been fixed, but I can't judge it on the fixes. I have to judge it on what's currently available. So, B tier. Let me move a few things around because the next one I want to address. Move AFR over here now that I've moved chat. And we'll put those two right next to each other. Oh, look, Zara, you and Goruto are right next to each other. How cute. The next mod that I'm going to review is... don't get me wrong. It is an amazing mod. That was the culmination of a sensational saga. But that minigame was hard as fuck, M. Fleeting Feelings. Fleeting Feelings was a heavily, heavily anticipated mod for a really long time. Yes. Hey! You got to play the easy version. Vex. M had to tweak the QTEs. Gee, man, you're super stupid all the time, man. Vex, you didn't play the easy version? You didn't play it after Bats played early release before anybody else? You sure? You sure? I played the easy version. Okay. Well, to each their own, right? Everybody's got different skills. But that minigame was hard. The final QTs were the ones that or not the final ones, because the final ones were the easy ones. The one right before that, the super, like, where it's switching things up, and oh my god, that fucked with me. It took me forever. Those of you that were there for that stream know that I struggled. I mean, the first one was easy as hell. The one with Yuri was a little bit more of a challenge, but it was still okay. But man, you got to the end before the glitching started. And good god, that difficulty level just dialed up to 100. With the exception of the minigame. If the minigame weren't there, I would say S tier mod. Hands down. No problem. In fact, it would probably be towards the top somewhere. When people sit down to play a visual novel, they're essentially sitting down to read a book. The goal, he gives you an option to skip it. Yeah, but those of you who know me, y'all know my pride's too much for that. My pride would not let me do that. I struggled with that decision quite a bit during that stream. People are not sitting down to a visual novel to play Undertale, right? They're sitting down to read a story. And I felt like the decision to include the minigame, while it was really unique and creative, which, I mean, M is a genius. M is a goddamn genius. Did you ever rewind the past? I think I got all the endings. I even got the Easter egg. Because I had M in the stream with me. I will have to check that out, Vex, and make sure that I did, because I had M with me the whole time. He was in chat. So he made sure that I got all the content that was available. I need a drink of water. Hang on. So without the minigame, the mod was flawless. There was nothing wrong with it. No problems at all. I loved it. Oh no. Okay, that's a shame. But that minigame, it changes the entire experience. And I feel like it takes away a little bit from the story. It pulls the focus off the story and pulls you out of that immersion to focus on the minigame. And for me, it was too much to S tier it. So, Fleeting Feelings, high A tier. Now, it is high A tier. In fact, it's top A tier. But it's still an A tier. Speaking of A tiers, I am a horror mod fanatic. It's my favorite kind of mod. Favorite kind of mod. Like, I didn't know that I enjoyed comedy mods until I played Abridged. But my favorite kind is a horror one. And I don't mean jump scares. I want the mod to get under my skin. I want it to make me look over my shoulder when I enter a dark room. I want it to stay in my head for hours afterward. The only horror mod currently existing, the only horror mod that has ever been able to get under my skin and make me take a break. Let me say that again. I had to put the mod down for a day. Is Tutorial. Tutorial is an S tier mod. I took a different direction there, so I apologize for confusing people. I know. I was gonna do things differently. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, no, let's show the good before the bad. What I was going to do was the next one that I'm going to talk about, and I'll explain that. Tutorial absolutely positively deserves S tier. Also, yes, please no caps. Abbreviations are fine, like OCW, that's capital, fine. But yeah, not whole statements. Tutorial's an S tier mod. In fact, I need to move a few around here. Because Tutorial is the S tier of horror mods. It is the quintessential horror mod. It did exactly what I think a horror mod is supposed to do, and that is give you the false sense of security that base game did, right? Base game lulls you into this, what are people talking about? This is just another fucking dating sim. This is boring, right? And then boom, act 1 ends. Tutorial captured that and took it a step further. You get the false sense of security, but not only do you have that, it sets it up in a way that is almost better than base game. Because when it comes at you with those scares, you're just bored enough. Just enough. It catches you right there at that borderline. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The extra files that appeared during the play of the game, very well done. Very well executed. The character progression was just phenomenal. The twist at the end, I didn't expect. I'm gonna get to that, Vex. My favorite part of Tutorial, Vex just mentioned, is the random occurrences. Those of you that have only played it once may not know this, but when Lonesome was coding Tutorial, some of those scares that you see, the subtle shit, the noose in the closet, Sayori at the end of the corridor, the TV glitching, Blue Monica off to the side, what else? The distortion across the screen as the Dokis start becoming self-aware. A lot of those scares are 100% randomized. No playthrough of the game is going to present the exact same scares in the exact same way every time. Yes. He set them on a percentage system to where there are certain scares that have like a 10% chance of happening. There are certain scares. The TV glitching in MC's living room, I think that was a higher chance because I've seen most people get it. But like I got scares that Bat Outta Hell 24 didn't get. Bat Outta Hell 24 got scares that I didn't get. Like I never got the noose in the closet, and a lot of other people did. Every single one of those events is completely randomized. And that, in my opinion, is the best part of Tutorial. Because no playthrough is going to be the same. It offers replayability. And that, for a Doki Doki mod? Fuck yeah, bitch. You know, like, I played through Tutorial, once on my own. I did a recording for it because I'm not kidding. I had to put the mod down. I was sitting here in my room playing it. I've got my wife watching over my shoulder, and she's loving it because she loves the horror shit just like I do. But I'm sitting there and I'm really enjoying it, and I had to get up and go to the bathroom or something, I forget. And the walk from my room to that bathroom was terrifying. I hated it. I was so scared. I was so disturbed. When I got back in my chair, I'm like, let's do something else for a while. That's what I want out of a horror mod, and that's what Ryan and I are hoping to deliver with this bond we share. A horror mod needs to get under your skin. It needs to rattle you. It needs to disturb you. And Tutorial nails it. Knocks it out of the park 100%. Now, and Tutorial nails it. Knocks it out of the park 100%. Now, what I was going to do before I went to Tutorial, I ultimately decided that if I'm, yeah, she did. She really, I was too. I was sweating. I was shaking. It got under my skin. She even tried to let you take a break. Nice. Yeah, because Tutorial's scary. I mean, it gets to you. It's a slow crawl that just gets worse and worse and worse. And he includes a very small handful of proper jump scares, but it's such a low amount that they don't feel... It doesn't feel unnecessary. It doesn't just feel like a cheap spook. It's just enough. Like that sound effect when you go into the classroom and Yuri's like right the fuck there. Right? That one gets me every fucking time. So much so that on my second playthrough, when I did the developer commentary, the live stream with Lonesome, or not the developer commentary, yeah, developer commentary. When I did that with Lonesome, he was in chat, not on voice. I'm gonna be honest, only one scare got me, but it was good for... Yeah. Which one got you, Serg? Sayori down at the end of the hall was a good one. I never got that one, Vex. The no mouth, I never got that one. The corridor one was spooky. Okay. The TV in MC's living room, that one jarred me. Like, I saw that TV light up and I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me? Yeah. No, absolutely. 100%. Like, just stellar horror mod. Stellar horror mod. Loved it. I keep getting distracted by the soundtrack of my own mod. Oh my god. So what I was originally gonna do, is I was gonna do an A tier mod, but I'm like, you know what? Let's show them how it needs to be done so that we can explain how others have tried. And I'm talking about T-Lom's Nightmare. Oops, wrong one. Nightmare was good. To this day, I know if I want to scare the shit out of my son, all I have to do is walk up behind him and go, scares the fuck out of him. And me, subsequently. I always hate myself for doing it. Nightmare jars you. It does. Like, when you're standing there in front of Sayori's house and you turn around and you hear her. In your ears, hear her choking, struggling for her life. Even now, just talking about it, I get goosebumps. There were 2 issues with Nightmare. Well, there was one really big issue with Nightmare, but it can be explained away. And that was its length. Granted, Nightmare was developed in 2 days. If someone can correct me if I'm wrong. T-Lom spent 48 hours writing, coding, and releasing Nightmare. It was honestly very impressive, to be perfectly honest. And I told him as much when I did the video for it. I was just like, bruh, that's impressive as fuck. Like, man, I don't know how you fucking did it, but good job. It's a great mod. It is a really great mod, and the fact that it is so great, and he only took 2 days to do it, it gets mad respect. But because it was only developed in 2 days, agreed, Bia. Because it was only developed in 2 days, there are pacing problems. There was some writing issues that just, some sentences just didn't come out quite right. Now, they're small, mind you. I mean, they're not, it's not like playing, you know, something that a 12-year-old wrote or anything. But, I mean, they're definitely enough to be noticeable. And that's why I can't S-tier it. I wanted to. I really did. And the next one that we're gonna cover, I also wanted to, but I cannot reconcile the pacing problems because there's enough of them to be noticeable. So on that note, we're gonna move on to what I'm kind of inclined to call the sister mod to Doki Doki Nightmare, and that's Sayori Date. Sayori Date does more or less the same thing that Nightmare does. It gives you Sayori.
Sweet, innocent Sayori. Your childhood friend that you've loved forever. And it makes her scary as fuck.
Right? Sayori Date scared me. Well, yeah. It was enough for me to go, well, this is scary. It was not enough to deliver what Tutorial did, and neither was Nightmare. Tutorial covers all the bases that Nightmare and Sayori Date miss. You know, things like the false sense of security, things like the cheap jump scares. Those two mods, I feel like they tried to accomplish it and they just didn't quite get it. And Tutorial does. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. It takes your childhood friend and makes her scary as fuck, yeah. Let's get it done. I know we're gonna be on this one for... Doki Doki Exit Music, the original. Bun Bun! The clips that I have from our fireside, can you share the ones that I have posted? Which should just be the Monica talk and the Sayori talk. This is OG. This is the original. Share those two clips. And... okay. And we're back. So, guys had a little bit of time to at least start checking out those links. Let's talk about it, okay? Next to Amorphati, I'm just kind of gonna put it over here. Don't worry, I'm not C-tiering it, don't panic. Next to Amorphati, the only other mod that you think of when you hear Doki Doki mod controversy is the original Exit Music. This mod has received more bad press. Just, oh god. You know, members of our team have received death threats. The mod is serious business. And, you know, as I'm sure everyone here is acutely aware, the developer herself, Lucy, recently went back and played through the original Exit Music, and she was so disgusted by what she saw that she's like, no, you know what? This needs a redux. We need to try this again. But the original Exit Music, I just... character continuity problems out the ass. Now granted, not all of the continuity issues that a lot of people talk about were unexplainable. Sayori's drastic personality change could be associated with medication. Yuri literally attempting to rape MC was actually kind of normal behavior for a yandere. You know, things like that. But, first of all, it got blacklisted. It was one of the first that got blacklisted from the Reddit due to copyright. And copyright is serious business, right? You don't use somebody's shit without their permission, or without at least paying them for it. People work hard, artists work hard, writers work hard, voice actors work hard. To just put shit out there for free, how would we make money? If we're doing it full time, we need to get our proper dues. So, I get that criticism. Now, that having been said, the music that was used fit each and every scene to a T. I cannot hear full stop without thinking about Natsuki in that bedroom. It gives me flashbacks. Like, so not having the overdose scene in the Redux was an experience. But anyways, when I first started playing Doki Doki mods, my very first mod was Exit Music. That's where it all began for me. I went from base game to Exit Music to Brand New Day and on. I played through Exit Music myself. lost my mind at the end. Lost my mind. Just, I was incensed. For a while, it made me a Natsu kitten. I was so devastated. Just hysterical. Sobbing, shaking, I mean, the whole 9 yards. It ruined me for hours. So I decided to torture my kid with it. My son is the reason I got into Doki Doki. And he's a big fan. He is a Natsu kitten to this day. So when I played Exit Music and it ruined me so much, I'm like, hey, you need to play this mod. So then I played it again, only it was watching him experience it. And again, we hit that ending, and we are both just inconsolable fools. Recently, when I started streaming, I did a original playthrough, which is the list that you see there, with Bat Out of Hell 24. And I got to go through it a third time. You would think that by the third run, I wouldn't quite be as debilitated by the ending. You'd be wrong. But it would make sense, right? I mean, I know what's happening. It's not like it's shocking me or surprising me or catching me off guard. I know what's coming from the time the word go. Like, and yet, hey son, play, why can't you just ground me like most do? That's pretty fair. God damn it. That was a good one. Yeah, but oh, fuck. You fucking asshole, you broke me. Oh my god. I can't, like, every time I think I'm okay, I look up at the screen and it's right there again, and I'm just like, oh god. Via, if Jason is next to you right now, you really need to share that with him. Oh. Bravo, Nick. Well done. Good one. Okay. Whew. Damn. I wasn't ready for that one. Oh, I did? Fuck me. Shit. Sorry. Whoops. Okay. Oh. Focus. I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. When MC is in that classroom, spoiler alert, folks, I mean, this should be obvious, but thank you, Nick. Oh, I see what you were saying. You were telling Bumba that. I got it. Okay. Fuck's sake. Yes, OGEM. Oh, I'm good. During the stream, during the OG stream, when... Wow. Alright. was trying to be suspenseful. Hang on, I gotta shift some stuff around here. No! Damn it. Part of the reason I'm dawdling is I'm still on the fence. Fuck around. No, sir. You're alright. You're alright. Lost my train. Okay. As I was saying, during the stream that I did with bats, after you find Nat, the next day, when you walk into the classroom, like, I was starting to kind of feel it, but I'm like, this is my third time. I can fucking do this. And then you go to the closet. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And Bats is delivering the inner monologue as MC is standing there in the closet. And the MC goes to leave, and you get to the poem. And we get through that. And then Monica starts chasing after MC. And, Bun Bun, or any of my mods, really, but I love it when my PR people do it. If you could go to the final episode of Exit Music Original, go to the final episode and find the timestamp where I have text on the screen talking about realistic sobs from here on out. It's right as MC leaves the school. If you could find that timestamp and just drop it into chat for me, that would be cool. But I even put text on screen as I was editing the video. I put text on screen literally saying, these are real sobs from here on out. I'm good, but I'm not that good. And so as Monica is pleading with MC, crying, begging him not to do it, I was legit crying, and I am not too proud to admit it. Because the mod has the ability to get under my skin not once but 3 times, and I'm an intellectual enough to understand the reasoning behind why the character continuity issues that are criticized exist in the first place. People are gonna hate me for it. OGEM is low S tier. Because, yes, the issues are there. But they have reason. Low S for OG Exit Music. So since we're already here, yes, higher than OCW, but not by much. Oops. The decisions that were made during the development of EMR were on point. Granted, I don't like the fact that Full Stop wasn't included, at least not in the demo, and I really was looking forward to voicing Intoxicated Natsuki again, because I really enjoyed that. In spite of all of it, it's a better mod. It's a much better mod. I rarely get to see my boyfriend actually enjoying the content that we collab on. Like, legitimately enjoying. And the entire time we were doing the early access stream, I could hear it in his voice. He could not stop smiling. And I mean, when you make an edgelord smile, am I right? You deserve some credit. Like, just absolutely stellar. They improved on everything. In fact, I even said it during the stream. There were several points that we covered during those fireside chats We talked about Sayori and medication. We talked about the suicide hold. Several of those points that we addressed during the fireside chat, they took the information and you could visibly see them corrected in EMR. I cannot wait for full release of this mod. I will argue it to the end of time. Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of pride in this bond we share, but EMR will get mod of the year. Hands down. I am saying it now. No. Nobody posted a timestamp, Bun. Yeah, if you can just get that timestamp. Just give the timestamp of when I have the text on screen. Thank you. Hey, Lich. Oh yeah, no, like, this is... It do be that good shit, though. Thank you, Bun. Okay, so you just took it to that timestamp and linked it from there. Cool, that works. 53 minutes, that sounds about right. Exit Music Redux will be the 2020 mod of the year. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. None whatsoever. It will make mod of the year. Because if the demo is any indication, they've got it this time. Absolutely, hands down. So enough about EMR and Exit Music. Next mod. Next mod we have is Doki Doki Changing Perspectives. Probably the most difficult item on this tier list for me to place. I've played through this mod 2.5 times. The first 2 times, it was just me by myself. The third, it was the second mod that I collaborated with Fly Kunai, Zara, Ryan, and Goruto, and Sweetie on. I don't know how, after 2 playthroughs, I missed the issues with this mod, especially with how many there are. Sentence structure, grammar, spelling, typos. There are so many problems with this mod. Pacing, there's several pacing issues. And Jesus Christ, the vanilla. Now, as a disclaimer, you know what you're in for. You are about to play base game from 4 different perspectives. The fact that there's vanilla there should be no surprise. And Nick, that is a sound argument. You have to consider the fact that this was base game from 4 perspectives. It was literally base game 4 times. It's a big mod. It's huge. Carousel rushed it out. I agree. Absolutely. Because had Carousel taken the amount of time necessary to make this mod as great as it should have been, would have taken a couple years. I have no doubt in my mind. I think it only took her maybe a year at most. The only thing keeping me from putting Changing Perspectives in C is that goddamn first perspective. The Monica route in Changing Perspectives is stellar. Yes, the issues with the writing are still there. These are issues that could have been fixed by a proofreader. Now, that having been said, I played the thing twice and I never noticed them. But those issues aside, if you have the capacity to read something and in your mind correct what you're seeing before you so that it makes sense. Oh yeah, no, and this is just a taste, Lech. I have 20 here. I believe in total there are 150 mods. Bun, am I kind of in the neighborhood? Am I about right? Yes, no, this is a very heavily modded visual novel. Perhaps one of the most. Yeah, lots more. But more than, okay. I wasn't sure. I personally, in addition to mods that I've watched, which is quite a few, I know that I have played through, literally personally played through at least 50 of them. I might be somewhere in the 70s, I'm honestly not 100%. But yeah, I've maybe played through a third of what's actually available. Yeah, the minor titles, like a lot of the crossovers, like the Undertale crossover, and most recently the Devil May Cry crossover, I'm not going anywhere near them. I don't want to. I don't care. No. I don't do crossovers. I just don't. There's a reason Discord Club isn't on my channel. I'm not going to play it. I won't be doing any of the Sonic mods. I won't be doing just I don't do crossovers. Sorry. Now, mods that occur in the same universe, for example, the M Cinematic Universe, Don't, Disappearance, Somnium, Hypnopompic, and of course Fleeting Feelings, different story. But like proper branded crossovers like the Sonic ones, no. Via anything you create, I will play because you created it. And I love your brain. But that's different. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of mods that I have played and loved and will look forward to playing again on the channel. I don't do those. But we've deviated. Doki Doki Changing Perspectives. As the mod trails on, the quality degrades. And by the time you hit the Seo route, it's a rough ride. However, when the mod came out in demo form, before it hit full release, the only route you had was the Monika route, and it was the entire route. Yet, Nick, the proverbial term is yet. The demo was Monika's route, start to finish. And dear God, that route, the use of code, the use of just, it was inspired. It was my favorite version of Monika. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite version of Monika. Oh gosh, yeah, I have to include the 20+ Fluffyverse content. Yeah. Wow, so I'm actually probably approaching 100 at this point, more or less. Damn. Yeah, emphasis on anything. Oof. Day of Reckoning, anyone? Excuse me. If the quality of the entire mod had matched the quality of that first route, I would probably be putting this in A tier. But I can't, because those other 3 routes, yeah. So much so that streaming the collaboration with Fly, Sarah, Ryan, Goruto, and Sweetie, it got painful. It got so painful that many of us would go weeks without coming to collabs, because we just couldn't get through it. It's rough. But that Monika route, that one's top tier. No, absolutely. I fucking love that Monika route. I feel like she nailed Monika 100%. The character continuity was solid. I love everything about the first route, but I can't just rate the mod on one of its routes. For that reason, Changing Perspectives is B tier. almost done here. Yeah. Doki Doki Comedy Club is A tier. It's a great mod. It's so fucking funny. The reason it is currently an A tier is because I know more content exists for it. It was over too quickly. I wanted more. I know more exists, but the dev is withholding some of the content. M created some contributions for Comedy Club that I can't get my hands on, and I don't like that, because I'm sure they're great. But I'm not 100%, and because I haven't seen the content, I have to judge it on what exists. It is over too quickly. You are left wanting more. For that reason, I cannot S-tier it. Now, it's a hysterical mod. I mean, just absolutely hysterical. I laugh so fucking hard. It looks good. It's so funny. It's so goddamn funny. But I need more. I really, really need more. And just the disappointment that you feel when you're done with it. It's too much to S-tier it. Okay. The next one we're going to cover is part of an entire cinematic universe. I get that, Vex. I do. I do. You know what? Tell you what, let's put it to a vote. We have how many people in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 people active in here right now, actively chatting. According to Streamlabs, it's 11, but you can't trust it. We have 7 people. If I can get 4 people, at least, to vote where they want it, majority will rule, and that's where it'll go. Doki Doki Comedy Club, is it A or S tier? Yes, Nick. Nick. Okay. Okay, so we have 1 S, 1 A, and then a midway essay. You satisfied with that? Okay, we'll do that then. Because I understand that. Because the content that is there, it is good. It's really good. I mean, there are a couple of them that are not as funny as the rest, and obviously it does not hold a candle to Abridged. But it is good. Sorry, quiet streamer, multitasking failed. And you know what? I'll even do this. Okay, so it is... I will rank it above A Father's Redemption in the essay bracket. How's that? Because I agree. That's definitely, you know, it's a great mod. It is a great mod. It's just, it's over so fast, and it's like, once it's over, you're just, I want to keep laughing. More funny, please. But again, what is there is just really sensational. If Kronos is still here, I do know that Kronos had a hand in it, and his content, of course, is great. Okay, as I was saying, the next one that we're going to talk about, it's less a single mod and more an entire cinematic mod universe. And I'm talking about Doki Doki Behind Closed Doors. Now, I want to preface this by saying my opinion of the entire Fluffyverse cinematic universe. Okay. Forgot to turn it back down, thank you. My opinion of the entire Fluffyverse cinematic universe. Absolutely, positively, I will not allow my personal feelings regarding the dev to cloud my opinion of the mod, and I want to disclaimer that. Behind Closed Doors started with the original Behind Closed Doors. That had to be corrected because there was a substantial amount of copyrighted content. Not just music, but art. There was a sprite that was problematic, some backgrounds. So it had to be redone. So when Fluffy Dev redid it, it was better. You know, story didn't change at all. They just literally corrected the, copyright issues. But then they decided to do it again, to give it another rework. And that's when you get Behind Closed Doors Revisited, and you know, the trickle down from there. And then once they did those, they started to expand the depth of their cinematic universe. And that's when you get the different doors. So I'm ranking the original Behind Closed Doors, the adjusted Behind Closed Doors, the revisited, as well as the different doors. So this tier ranking is going to cover all of those in a nutshell. My experience with Behind Closed Doors was great. I loved it. I love Itami. That Dadsuki, specifically. He's my favorite Dadsuki, really. He's my favorite. My second favorite Dadsuki is Fruits. Because, God, that man's a monster. But Itami's absolutely 100% my favorite. I love him. I love the CG with Natsuki's corpse posed like a doll. It is an exceptional mod by itself. The different doors polluted that. While by itself, the different doors chapter or arc, I guess, it was good for what it was trying to be. I know Fluffy Dev worked tirelessly to make sure that there were very rarely issues like typos and things like that. And you have to keep in mind, Fluffy Dev, especially when it hit the different doors arc, Fluffy Dev was cranking out a mod a day. I'm gonna say that again. A mod a day during the different doors arc. That by itself is pretty goddamn impressive. However, it derailed so far from Behind Closed Doors and the original content. After having a night to think on it, last night when I did the rough draft, I put it A tier, or S tier. a mod a day for, I believe it was 6 different mods. I mean, it was almost an entire week. 1 mod a day. I mean, just unbelievably impressive stuff. And they were good. There was the periodic typo that snuck its way in there, but they were good. For my personal opinion, and again, you know, my tier list obviously is not going to compare to someone else's. Yes, Via is absolutely right. Fully coded, 30 minutes streamed live. Tier list, part of what goes into them, obviously, is the preferences of the streamer. Yes, no, you're absolutely right, I know. For my preferences personally, I felt like different doors started to stray too far. For this reason, high A tier. In fact, having fleeting feelings there is kind of odd because it makes the rest of them look a lot lower than they actually are. Okay, Behind Closed Doors solo by itself, you know, without all the different rewrites, revisions, arcs, it's low S for me. Because of some pacing issues. But aside from that, I mean, it's still a wonderful story. Absolutely wonderful. Sensational story. Like, just really good. But once you started getting into the later arcs, it just, it was too much of a disconnect from the original content, and it was just a little jarring. So that is my opinion there. Now, continuing the Fluffyverse content is a mod that very few people have heard of. Doomed by Design. It still occurs within the confines of the Fluffyverse, which is vast, mind you. It's 4 different kind of short stories that sync up in a almost Tarantino-like way, to where you're introduced to these 4 stories that start with a single sentence, but they are all the retelling of an event that is being told to a detective on something that happened and the police had to get involved. The sentence that they all start with, you pretty much know what Doki you're dealing with, depending on which one you pick. But they tell the story of the events of an afternoon, a couple hours, maybe, told from the 4 different Dokis. In some ways, some of the stories were a little chilling. They were enough to kind of make you go, man, that's creepy. Some of them had some almost emotional elements to them. And there was a little bit of comedy thrown in there. It's a very well-written mod with a refreshing take on the Doki Doki universe. No typos, no grammatical issues, no sentence structure. Pacing was on point, and it is, to date, one of the most successful videos on my channel. I cannot, at this time, think of a complaint that I have about this mod. I would have liked to have seen it longer, but there's a chance that if it were longer, it might have been too much. For this reason, Doomed by Design is S tier. If you have not played it, I strongly suggest that you do, because there is something for everybody in that mod. Now, last, but most certainly not least, bear with me. And when I say not least, I mean it. I get a lot of flack for my opinion of this mod. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. When my wife finished her base game run and wanted to try a mod, the very first one that I strongly encouraged for her was yellow. And everybody was like, do you hate your wife? What's wrong with you? Yellow is a mod that, okay, I don't mean that. I don't want to see. Yellow is a mod that kind of touts itself as a Natsuki mod, but it isn't. It's a sentient MC mod. And a very good one. If you like crazy, if you like fourth wall breaks, if you like sick, twisted characters, you will love Doki Doki Yellow. Love it. Love it. 100%. Just as much as I do. The way they addressed MC's descent into madness as a result of becoming sentient was flawless. Absolutely flawless. Some people had trouble with the minigame. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. But it wasn't impossible. There was a system, and once you figured out that system, it was very easy. It does have the OC of Amy, complete with a blouse that's got spider webbing on it. It's fantastic. It is a stellar mod. It gets so much shit. I have seen people D-tier this mod, and it doesn't make any rational sense to me. For this reason, Doki Doki Yellow is S tier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our tier list today. So I'm going to clean this up and save it, put it on the server. It just gets a lot of flack. The minigame that happens at the end is a poem minigame, but it's got a little bit of a twist. The MC that is used is my personal favorite MC, the taller, much more handsome one. And his name is Michael Connors, which is amusing as hell to me. How many mods have I played? Like I said, I think we figured out earlier that I'm approaching 100. But naturally, as you guys probably know, the ones that haven't been done on the channel or in some format where I can say, hey, see, look, I did that, it's hard for me to tier list them because you can't go back and review that. So that's it.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and ring those bells. That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye, everyone.